The first generation was first revealed by DG episode 359, when DG explained to Daniel the history of fists. During this generation, Gapryong's followers began to fight each other for greed and power, and that struggle for power ended up with them recruiting high school students who were followers of the pre-generation. The fist would rule over these groups of students known as circles, and within those students individuals would rise above them and become leaders known as kings. They tended to occupy larger areas such as a city and provinces in the countryside in order to run illegal businesses to make money. The generation was full of violence and had no romance. Kings and circles would always be in a constant struggle fighting over territory until the strongest member of this generation, James Lee, would appear. He ended the circles by defeating the kings, mutilating several of the kings in the process. It's unknown how many kings he did this to, as kings like Jichang did not lose a body part. There are only 2 confirmed victims. He took Taisu Ma's right eye and contributed to the loss of Gongsobji's right leg. The fate of the fists that participated in the first generation is unknown, but after this, most people of the first generation were scarred by him. Most of them would stay put in their own territory, passing on the story of the legend that ended the first generation. Most kings would do the same, continuing their businesses in their own territories. Other kings like Gongsobji would renounce their position and distance themselves from his past. After the flames of war died out, James Lee would become one of the 10 genius and helped Charles Choi build a new era of the crews that would later become the second generation. He would also be manipulated by Charles Choi, which ended in him killing Gapryong Kim before disappearing without a trace. Most of the first generation would take in pupils from the second generation in order to pass on their training methods. They are still searching for James Lee to pay him back for what he did.